Good to have you back at the desk. I hope the revision is steady and that you are protecting your energy because this is a marathon and not a sprint. This is the Sociology Desk, issue 0011. Today we take two events, and for each one I will give you the concept, the thinker, and the precise way to write it, so your answer climbs from the 14-mark crowd into the 19-mark few. Let us begin. Our first event. From the 1st of April 2026, India's 4 labor codes come into full force, and the registration window for gig workers is now open. For the first time, the platform worker is statutorily enrolled into Social Security, but, and this is the crucial but, without being granted employee status. Where does this sit? Paper 1, Works and Economic Life, the formal and informal organization of work. The weak candidate calls gig work precarious and stops. You will read it as the second-class citizenship of digital labor. So how do you open? Not with a description of food delivery riders. Begin with the structural claim. The state has formally recognized the platform worker while carefully withholding the obligations of the wage contract. The worker is registered but not employed. That single line frames the whole answer because it tells the examiner, you have seen the move, recognition without employment, visibility without rights. Your first anchor is Karl Marx, and the lever is his distinction between formal and real subsumption of labor from capital. Formal subsumption is when capital encloses the worker within its legal form. Real subsumption is when capital reshapes the labor process itself. The new code formally absorbs the gig worker through a 1 to 2% levy on aggregator turnover, but the real disciplining of the work, the targets, the ratings, the deactivation, stays with the algorithm. So this is formal subsumption without the obligations. Capital claiming the worker without conceding the wage. As Marx argued in Capital, formal subsumption precedes real subsumption, and the gig worker stands exactly at this opening. Your second thinker is Ulrich Beck, and the concept is risk society. From his work, Risk Society. Beck describes late modern work as the individualization of risk. In the old standard employment relationship, illness, accident, and old age were borne collectively attached to an employer. The new code attaches those same risks to a portable personal benefit account instead, a welfare fund without an employer. Beck called this tendency the Brazilianization of work. Say that, and you have named the deeper structural transfer. Risk moved from the collective onto the individual. Now, how to write this for Marx? The 14-mark script says, gig workers are precarious and the codes are a welcome step. Thin and forgettable. The 19-mark script opens with the recognition without employment. Uses Marx and formal versus real subsumption as the lever. Names the code on Social Security as the instrument with its dated rollout. Then adds, Beck on the individualization of risk. If you have room, add Dipankar Gupta's warning that the informal sector is not one mass. A delivery rider and a freelance designer cannot share one welfare fund. Close on the open question, juridical visibility versus substantive labor citizenship. The examiner rewards the lever and the named instrument, not the word precarious. Expect this. 20 marks. Paper 1. Quote, the formal recognition of platform labor through statutory welfare funds completes its formal subsumption into capital without conferring substantive employment. Unquote. Critically examine in the light of India's Code on Social Security. And a 10-marker. Comment on Beck's thesis of the Brazilianization of work with reference to the labor codes. Hold Marx and Beck, and both answers are yours. Our second event takes religion into the heart of technology. On the 25th of May, Pope Leo XIV released his Encyclical on artificial intelligence, warning against a new Tower of Babel and insisting that technical power must not automatically confer the right to govern. Where does this sit? Paper 1. Religion and Society, Religion and Science, Secularization. The weak candidate treats this as a religious news item. You will read it as a charismatic authority, reopening the public sphere on technology. So how do you frame it? Begin by confronting the old secularization thesis, the prediction that modernity would push religion into the private corner while science governed the public world. This encyclical is a textbook counter-instance. Religion is not retreating, it is re-entering public reasoning, this time on the ethics of algorithms. That reframing is your opening, and it signals to the examiner that you are testing a classical theory against a live event, not narrating a sermon. Your anchor is Max Weber, and the lever is his typology of authority and the idea of rationalization, the iron cage. The Pope speaks as charismatic authority, intervening in a domain now ruled by a rational legal authority, the AI firm, the regulator, the data center. Where Weber feared the iron cage of instrumental reason cut off from meaning, the Encyclical reasserts a substantive ethic against pure technical efficiency. As Weber argued, the iron cage is the price of rationalization, and only a substantive ethic can re-anchor a disenchanted order. Add Jurgen Habermas to deepen it. His distinction between system and life world reframes the same intervention. The Encyclical's call for shared ethical standards and independent oversight is the life world pushing back against the colonization of the public sphere by the steering media of money and power. In Habermas' terms, it is an attempt to restore communicative rationality where commercial and military logics now dominate. Two thinkers, one event, and a classical debate brought to life. Marx again. The 14-mark script summarizes what the Pope said and calls it an important message on AI ethics, descriptive and capped. The 19-mark script opens with the secularization thesis under challenge, reads the Encyclical through Weber as one authority type intervening in another, adds Habermas on life-world pushback, and engages the secularization versus deprivatization debate directly, citing Casanova, that religion in modernity does not vanish, it reorganizes as a public voice. Name the document and the date and treat it as a structural intervention, not a religious utterance. That is the difference between 15 and 19. Expect this. 20 marks. Paper 1. Quote, secularization is not the disappearance of religion, but its reorganization as a public, deliberative voice in modernity. Unquote. Critically examine in the light of religious interventions in debates on artificial intelligence. And a second, is Weber's account of the iron cage still adequate to explain the moral contestation of algorithmic authority? With the Encyclical as your anchor, you are ready. Let us revise. 1. The labor codes, recognition without employment. Read through Marx on subsumption and Beck on the individualization of risk. 2. The AA Encyclical, religion re-entering the public sphere. Read through Weber's authority types and Habermas on system and life world. And the rule that decides your rank, the candidate who narrates the news scores 14. The candidate who turns the event into evidence for a name theory scores 19. Be the second. That is today's brief. If you would like the full answer blocks and model answers for these events, just leave your email in the comments or write to us at team@upscdesk.com and our team will share the subscription details. I wish you the very best with your preparation. And remember, momentum is everything. The aspirant who returns to the desk every single day, even when tired, is the one quietly pulling ahead. I will see you tomorrow.